Hi, everybody. I'm Dusk. Welcome to Realm of the Sacred Roots. I wanted to talk to you guys today about being a spirit worker. Being a spiritualist isn't all glitz and glamour. There are a lot of things that we go through sometimes, and it's not even dealing with the spirits, it's dealing with our customer base. I wanted to tell you a few stories today. So grab your tea, your coffee. Let's have a chat. So there was a friend of mine a while back, and she couldn't get these um, residents out of her house that she was renting up north. So she tried for a year to do this, and she couldn't get them out. And she was frustrated. And I was frustrated with her because I'd have to hear her complain about it half the time. And so I said, this is ridiculous. She's gone through everything she had to do to get them out. They're not leaving. It's been a year past where they should have what they should have been, but being in a different state, it wasn't so easy. She tried to do legalities that still didn't really work. So these people were still in her place and not paying rent. So after me being tired of hearing her complain about it, I said, I'm going to do something. So I went into my room, went in front of my altar, and I did something about it. And, which is, I just basically paid them a visit, a spiritual visit. And I think I've told this story before, but I know they saw me in the house, and I just caused havoc in the house. That was at the beginning of the week. I wanted to say that was a Sunday. I want to say by Friday, they called her and told her that they were going to be moving out of the house. Now, she's been trying to call them for this whole time. They don't pick up the phone, they haven't answered. She could not reach them. But for some reason, a few days later, they actually called her and said, we're getting out of the house, we're leaving, da 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 da. It was interesting. I told her what I did. I said they'll be out soon. and and then she got that call on a Friday. Do you think she attributed any of the spirit work that I did for her? Do you think she attributed any of that to me? With even a simple thank you, I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate the work that you've did. No, she didn't. And at the time, and honestly, we do this for friends. You didn't charge them, right? I didn't charge her. I did this because she was a friend of mine, and we can call it coincidence. That's fine. There are plenty of coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences, but a lot of people think that, there's such a thing. I think everything has purpose. So I never said anything, but I always remember that in my head that I put that energy toward this. And I actually spirit traveled to this place and did these certain things. And, and I absolutely attribute what happened with them moving out to the work that I did because she tried for a year. To me, there was no mistaking, and I know the work that I do. So that was the first story I wanted to tell you, how ungrateful some people can be for the work that you do for them. I don't think that people who aren't spirit workers, I don't think they realize maybe the energy that you put toward it, your intention, and sometimes you put yourself in a difficult position because you're the middleman. You're the intermediary between the physical world and the spirit world. And so sometimes people don't think that we ought to get paid for our work, I assume. So it's just weird. And I've had people like that in my life for a while. I'll help friends out. I've read for friends for years, it seems, at least a couple years. And sometimes it's like, okay, you're doing it for free, but and you don't mind because you don't mind helping out. But after a while, it's a little crazy. So, and I think sometimes people take advantage of the fact that you're a nice person. And I didn't realize why some of the spiritualists that I would go to back in the days, while they were so strict with not being super friends on the phone, they were always about, do you want to schedule something with me and then we can talk? And I never understood why they were so cut and dry like that. And now that I'm actually doing it, I understand why. Because people will take advantage of your generosity. And they would even tell me that. They said, keep the lines clear. Don't mix the two, because um your sometimes your work isn't appreciated, even if you're charging somebody. And for me, usually I just let people pay me afterwards, because we don't know how long it'll go. I'm like, just okay, pay me afterwards. Sometimes people might not pay, sometimes they'll pay late or whenever they feel like it. It just depends on what is going on. And I think this is probably why, spiritualists sometimes have a no BS, no, they just have no tolerance for it. I was watching another spiritualist online, and he's funny. And I won't say any names. You probably will know them, but when you start reading some of the comments on there, people are like, "Hey, I just want to chat with you, just want to have a talk." He's like, "I'm about business, so unless we're talking business, unless you're scheduling something with me, then we'll talk." Um, so you get that a lot, and it's interesting to see. Now, I don't mind doing that. Like I had someone hit me up, but she was really, really cool. And she helped me out on something. And I thought that was really nice of her. And she just wanted to chat. And so I had a chat with her. And that was fine, because I feel like it was an exchange. And they always say that, have a fair energy exchange. Don't let it be one way. And this goes for relationships as well. If you're the type of empath, if you're the type of person who is completely give, 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 and you don't receive anything back from a friend, that's not how this should work. Also, you'll get clients that don't want to hear bad news. They want to pay you to give them good news, and that's it. I can't do that. I have to give what I get. I can't bullshit you. Like, I won't do that. I will tell you the truth. If you don't want the truth, then you have to go to another spiritualist, go to somebody else, because I can't, um, I'm not going to make stories up to appease the client. So you'll run into that too, where sometimes news isn't always like the best news. Sometimes it's not. And um, if I get something that's related to death, and it's not, and it's actually the death of someone or what, I have to tell you, unless you just don't want to hear it. But then why come to me? So sometimes you'll get that too, where people only want to hear good news, and you can't do that. You'll lose your gift that way. You have to be straightforward with people. There was an elderly lady that was a friend of the family's, and she was about 88, 89 at the time. And when I meditated for someone on her, I think the age I got was 93, 94, that she's going to pass away. And she turns 93 here in a few months. And so, all that time they were worried about her passing away. And I'm like, she's not going to pass away yet. It's not her time, because the years that I got was, I think it was 94. I wrote it in my journal. But um, so sometimes having, knowledge or the foresight of things is a good thing. And sometimes it's not, because it's not always well received. So this is just the different types of things you deal with. It's not always glitzy and glamorous. It's a lot of work, and you always have to stay true to yourself, no matter what you think they want to hear. You have to give what you get. Give what you get. That is probably the theme I'll make of this video, is don't lose your gifts for anybody. Um, so you'll have people that are ungrateful. You just kind of, I guess, learn to get over it and deal with it. Even when I couldn't, back in the days when I would see a friend of mine, if I couldn't pay her right then, I'd let her know, I get paid on this date, I will pay you. And I always have. And she can attest to that, because she watches my videos. I'm sure. So you know I, you just have to be open. Remember, it has to be a fair energy exchange. You can't just give. That's not right. It's not right, and I don't think the spirits want that either, because they're talking to you and through you, and they're giving you information for this person, and for it to be kind of shit on is not becoming. It's not what should be happening. So I'm going off here a little bit because I I'll leave it alone. I was going to give you guys an example, but sometimes, because also being a medium, sometimes when a spirit speaks to me, a spirit of the dead speaks to me, I take that heavy. I take that with some weight on there. And why would I not give that information to a client? I have to present that. So, anyways, I just wanted to mention this. I even saw another spirit worker online, and she did some type of free readings, but I guess they were supposed to donate. And those that promised to donate, I guess they didn't donate. So she had to call them out on her community page saying, hey, I still haven't received all of the donations for the free readings that I did for all of you. Like, she used her energy to read for these people, and they still hadn't paid her. And I'm just like, why does she have to call you guys out on that? And another thing, there was a let me keep this general. There was an instructor who let people take classes, but I guess, he basically was sitting there having to beg people to pay him what was due. WTF. I guess people aren't afraid or don't have reverence for the spirit. If you're having a problem, then contact the instructor, contact the spiritualist, and say, hey, I'll get this to you at this time, at this date. I've done that. I do that. I'll say I get paid on this date. That's when I'll pay you. And if they agree, then great, we're good to go. So I guess this video is longer than I thought it would be. I guess this video is for all sides. Have respect for the people that are reading for you. Have respect for the teachers that are teaching you. Don't make them beg for their money. Come on. And if you're having issues, then let them know that, so they're not sitting here having to call you out, because it's tough times for everyone. I get that. But have respect, because it's not even the person, the spirit worker and the teacher, it's the spirits behind them that give them the information, the wisdom, the knowledge to pass on to you. And you're disrespecting not only the medium, and I don't mean medium as in just talking to the dead, but the person that's giving you, the intercessor, the intermediary that is giving you the knowledge. You're also disrespecting the spirits behind them. So have respect. I've always had reverence for the spirit world. Have respect for them, and just be upfront and say, you can't afford it right now. I'll get it to you here and there. Don't make them feel like their gifts are not worthy. That's never cool. That's never cool. And on the flip side, it's interesting because I have a client who is absolutely wonderful. And I wish all clients could be like this. And it, like, no problems, no issues. And with this client, I have no problem saying, don't pay me until later. Don't pay me until afterwards. Wait till the work is done and you see results. Then you can go ahead and bless me. Just absolutely an amazing person. And So I guess you do have both sides, to be fair. But lately, I've just been seeing the other side of people, and not just with me, but with other spiritualists online, where they're having to beg for their money for the work that they're putting in to drop knowledge on you. So don't be that person. Let me just call people out. Don't be that person. Be upstanding and have honor and do the right thing. Okay, well, I didn't know where this video was going to go, but I guess it took its own form. So hopefully you get something from this. It's me venting a little bit of frustration, but it's also um, calling some people out, not just for me, but for these other spirit workers that are working hard for you guys. These other teachers. Come on, we can do better than that in this community. All right, guys, I hope you have a good evening, a good morning, wherever you're at. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.